Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Prattville, Alabama. Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful morning here in Prattville. It's a Monday morning, and usually I would be working, but Katie's mom came into town, so we're kind of slowing it down a little bit today. A little bit of family time here with Katie's mom. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning here. Just watch the creek here in Prattville and enjoy life a little bit. I hope wherever you're watching from, you're enjoying your day. It's a beautiful cold morning. It was in the 40s this morning. So we got our sweater on. And the smell of garlic butter from the restaurants down the road. If you're not familiar with Prattville, downtown's right here, and there's this beautiful creek. It comes right through downtown Prattville. It's absolutely gorgeous. And just quite a beautiful way to start the day here today. And I hope wherever you're watching from, you're having a beautiful day wherever you are. Hit the like button. And I hope you have a beautiful day wherever in the world you're watching from, whatever situation you're dealing with today. Good day, Alan Taylor. Welcome on board. We're in Prattville, Alabama, enjoying a beautiful, beautiful walk along the Otago Creek. There's not too much on my mind today. It was in the 40s this morning. Coming from Florida, being in the 40s is a little bit intimidating. I'll show you guys how I'm geared up. Yep, I'm geared up for this cold weather. I'm working on my new diet. I had to make some dietary changes. A little bit of discipline, just trying to stick to my diet here. It's not like it's optional anymore. If I don't follow my diet, I get very sick now. So, wait until the snow flurries. Yes, it will get colder than this eventually. But if I can go for a walk in the morning when it's in the 40s, I'll be all right. It's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful out here. And the speed of life is so slow. You can really just slow it down and kind of soak life in a little bit better. Even the work crews here, they're just kind of like taking it easy. But I expect that we will see snow this year. Today's the second day of the deer hunting season. However, it's off to a very... Let me show you some fire ants here. The deer season's off to a very slow start. The deer hunting season's off to a very slow start. The hurricanes knocked down a lot of stuff. Am I ready to go back to Southwest Florida? Not at a chance, brother. I'm having the time of my life here. This is just amazing. I'm loving it. I really am. I don't want to go back to Florida right now. It's so beautiful out here. It's cool. I love it, man. It was in the 40s this morning, and after being in Florida for 20 years, it feels amazing to be able to wear a sweater. It just feels amazing. It really does. So I'm not really ready for Florida. In winter here, it's literally 2 months. I mean, you got November is okay, like we're in November now, and you got December and January get really cold. That's about it, man. It's not that bad. It's reasonable, I think. It's not like I wouldn't do Kentucky or Ohio or none of that. Not a chance. Alabama is acceptable cold. It's not ridiculous cold. Last night I had my neighbor had a little fire pit outside, and I went over there and hung out by the fire pit. Sitting around the fire drinking a beer. They drink a beer, I can't. But it's nice to be able to sit next to a fire and just kind of watch the flames burn and enjoy the cool weather. I really don't have any regrets. I know every day I go on my channel and I read the comments of people. You're gonna go back to Florida. You're gonna regret being up there. I'm like, yo, you have no idea how much I like it here. Like I've said before, the hardest part about being here is just how backward sometimes people can be. But I don't care what people believe. As long as they treat me with respect, I'm good. And that's definitely not been a problem. There's a lot of love and a lot of respect out here. So, can't believe somebody would just throw garbage in the creek. If I wasn't wearing what I'm wearing now, I'd get it. But usually there's a lot of turtles out here, but I guess it's too cold this morning for the turtles to be out and about. So we're just enjoying another beautiful day here. I love how people think I'm just gonna like show up in Florida one day and say, nah, man, I'm loving it. It's been 4 months already, and I'm loving it. 56 degrees in upstate New York. So, Mr. Livingston, it is actually about the same here in Alabama right now. It's about the same in Alabama as it is in New York right now. It's very interesting. I'm wearing my ring. I usually don't wear it, but since my mother-in-law's in town, usually we keep this nice to wear some jewelry. I never really dress up much, but today we got the mother-in-law in town. Katie's over there with her mom. They're just enjoying Prattville. So I left the girls together for a little bit so they can catch up and chat a little. I'm loving life. Working a lot, staying busy. Not knowing anybody here is kind of difficult, and but I do talk to a lot of strangers. People are pretty talkable out here sometimes. You can meet people every day. So we're about 4 months into our move. We're settled in. I'm kind of past all the butterflies and fears at this point. I kind of understand what the package is about right now. I've been here for 4 months, so it's kind of starting to settle in. Like it a lot, really. I would say that Alabama's not for everybody. To be honest, you have to be really tough out here. First I thought people were a certain way, but after being here for a while, I think there's as many great people out here as there are kind of wacky ones, but it is what it is. Everywhere you're going to have to deal with people you don't like. That's not just here or there, that's everywhere. But I'm coming to a big, giant wall. Oh, it's 51 in London. Awesome, Alan. Alan, like people in England are, for the most part, fairly sophisticated, very well-educated people, well-mannered as well, for at least the ones I've met. Unless they're driving a Mini Cooper. But just playing. But overall, the hardest thing has been just, this place can't get past its history. Jose and Katie, 32, this morning in Mountain Village. Awesome. So it's a beautiful morning. It's a cool morning all over. We're all experiencing a cool morning. Katie's mom came to visit from Florida. And so they're up there chatting a little bit. I'm having fun over here. I'm loving life. That's just... Last night, like I said, my neighbor made a little fire. Tonight, we're going to make a fire for sure. And just make a little fire pit. And, people have been panning for gold a lot in this area. They've been finding gold out here in these parts. I started panning for gold roughly, and I haven't found anything yet. Oh, no, somebody left their toy. Very clear water in these creeks out here. Very clear. I'm sure it's freezing cold. Oh, it's cold. It's not as cold as I thought it would be, but it's freezing cold. She likes it so far. I think what the biggest hurdle, I think the biggest hurdle anybody from the city will face coming to Alabama will be understanding the mindsets of people out here. I'm gonna get over there. There's a water puddle there. I want to see if I can get to, and I faced it as well. There's a big wall between people that live in the city and people who live in the country. Have two totally different systems of what they believe in, what they think is right and wrong. So it's kind of like a challenge, really. Okay, I got in this little island here. I think the biggest hurdle is the difference in mindset between people who live in cities and people who live in the country. That's a really, and I didn't know that really. Yeah, she likes everything. I'm not sure what type of rock it is. You'll find I found a little piece of gold in my yard. It was a good chunk of gold, and I'm trying to explore the area where I found it a little bit deeper to see if I can find some bigger nuggets. But yeah, there's some interesting rocks here. There's some that are crystal clear. Lots of rocks. I mean, this is everything's just kind of beautiful out here if you just soak in the nature of it. Beautiful rocks, beautiful. It's so amazing, the nature here. You know? Find a good nugget. Yeah, so I'm working on finding some good sized nuggets in my property. It's a challenge. It's going to take a lot of exploration, but I know where I found the nugget, and I want to keep searching the area to see if I can find some more. It's really hard to find a nugget. I mean, you might find little specks of gold here and there, but when you find a nugget, that's a whole different ball game. I want to buy a metal detector. They have one at Walmart for $100. I'm just not sure if it's good enough quality. It might just be a very bad quality item. I'm not sure if anybody's bought a metal detector before. I'm going to need a gold detector, because what you do is you go around with the gold detector and you try to find a beep, and then when you find a beep, you start digging, and that's where the gold nuggets are. At least that's the way I've seen it. So I think I'm going to start gold digging here in Alabama soon. I'm definitely into the idea of starting up some type of gold prospecting adventure. I guess you have to find evidence of iron ore to find the nuggets. Yeah, I mean, I gotta learn. It's a new hobby for me, and I'm excited about it. It's just a hobby like any other. A hobby that could pay off if you're lucky. And I guess most people aren't that lucky, but you never know. There's all types of minerals and stuff in the ground out here. And, but you know, the biggest thing that I've faced out here so far has just been the difference in mindsets between people in the city and in the country. People in the country and people in the city think differently. So when people come over to visit, they have a certain mindset. They just don't understand, like, in the country you have to have guns. In the country there are rules you have to follow as far as like social level rules. Off to Beverly Hills then, Mississippi. How their way will help. So, you know, there's a lot of specific things you have to do here. You have to be very respectful. People have guns. It's a different world. So coming from an urban setting and finding myself here in the countryside, there's definitely a culture clash that even when people like come to visit me, I've noticed people come visit me that you know, they feel a little uneasy about certain things. For one, race things are an interesting topic here. People in the city won't talk about race at all. People in the country will. It's a different world. And it kind of goes into politics a little bit, which I don't like to do. It kind of goes into culture. It's a different world. So, different world, different rules, you know. And it's a bit of a culture clash. Life is slower paced. You know, there's so many changes coming from a very urban place to a rural place. And we just gotta adapt. It's all about adapting to your new settings. You know what I mean? Learn from the people here, and they'll learn from you as well. Being a city boy, you think you're an idiot, but actually I've been able to teach people a lot of things out here. So I've learned from them and they've learned from me. It's a very interesting situation. Yeah, there's police here. This is a very well patrolled area. Lots of cops. Yeah, it is so much. You know, whether in the city or in the country, the only thing on people's minds right now is politics. And it's so overdone, and I'm so burnt out from it, you know? It's like everybody that meets me here, as soon as they know that I'm from somewhere else, they want to test me and see what I'm about, And it gets to be a little bit burnt out of a topic, and it's overwhelming. But, that's the times we're living in right now. So, unfortunately, those are the type of things that are on people's minds. And, I just try to put positive things into my mind. I'm going to focus now on my hobbies. I'm going to start go digging. I got my junk removal business. So I'm just going to find things that keep my mind away from... I'll tell you guys something really very personal. We don't know if we're going to do it or not. And this is a subject open for discussion. We might consider adoption. If we don't have kids, we might consider adoption. The process is fairly expensive, but we got a solution to that. If we do it, we might do a GoFundMe because it's like a $10,000-$20,000 process. I thought you could just adopt a kid and that's it. That's not really how it works. Luckily, Jose, you have a good heart, and mine and can transcend all BS. Yeah, I cut right through it all. You know what I mean? I'm a very flexible person, and I have the right attitude. You have to be flexible. Like a lot of people today are not able to do what I did, which is get out of the city, because they're not willing to make those flexible adjustments that you have to make. Like if you come out here to the country and you were going to start running your city politic on people, you ain't going to last. The house that I bought, the guy that lived in it before me only lived in Alabama for 4 months. That's how long I've been here, 4 months. That's it. He bought the house, and 4 months later, he moved back to Florida. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it anymore. He didn't make the right moves. He didn't make the right political moves. I don't know what to call it, but you have to politic the right way. You have to know how to talk, what you can say, what you can't. You have to be a certain way. So, in order to get out of the country, you have to be able and willing. Let's go. You have to be willing to make a lot of adjustments to get out. Like if you're in a city and you want to leave the city and move out to the woods, you have to make a lot of adjustments. You have to change the way you think, the way you talk. You got to talk with a different accent. There's a lot of adjustments that you have to make, and most people are not going to leave the city. Like they're. It's almost like people in the city think people in the woods are backwards, but people in the city are just as backwards as people in the woods because they're not willing to adapt. I mean, I think being able to live in the city and be successful in the city, and then going to the woods and being successful in the woods as well, is a very beautiful attribute to have, because most people, they don't have the flexibility to move back and forth between those. They can't cross that line between urban and rural. And it's not just a lifestyle thing or a traffic thing. It's a very deeply rooted code of life that you have to understand. But we have been considering adoption because we don't have kids, and we finally realized that we're in a situation now where we're actually able to take care of somebody else if we're able to. So adoption's something we're going to consider. We're going to talk about it in the future on our channel. And if we do it, there's like a $10,000-$15,000 expense to do it. But we'll do a GoFundMe for it, so I'm not even worried about that. I know you guys, if we do it, I know we'll get it done. The last GoFundMe we did was for a camera drone, and you guys basically took care of that like nothing. So if we do the adoption, we'll do a GoFundMe. Nature rules, and most people are cut off from medicine. Yep, it's just nature is healing, man. It's incredible. Like I don't have cable TV. I don't even watch TV. I mean, I just go outside my yard and look at the birds. Not everybody's able to slow it down like that either. It takes a lot to be able to slow it down that way. You really got to slow down life a little bit. But we made the adjustments, so we're thinking about adoption. That's something we're gonna have to talk more on the channel about, and figure out if we're gonna do it or not. And the other thing that we're gonna talk about soon is marriage and what makes a great marriage. So I got some good live streams coming up. Probably on that subject. Should we do adoption? And should we counsel you guys on marriage, since we've been very successful at it? A lot of people are asking us, how that works. And so if you guys have any good topics for live streams, I mean, at this point, we're just like a bunch of buddies here hanging out in this virtual world of where you can't even meet people. This is a really nice little park here. It cuts right between the creek and the downtown district. Just nice little walk. So yeah, we have those two subjects we're gonna explore soon for sure. And overall, there's so much I wish I could tell you guys. I'm a very honest, very transparent person, but there's certain things that are a little bit deeper. But I will say this is definitely not for everybody. It isn't for everybody. But this is Prattville, Alabama. Beautiful morning here. Can't believe how many of these restaurants are hiring. Seems like every last one of these buildings is hiring. In fact, there's one restaurant here that has a sign that says, I think the sign says, you're gonna have to wait a long time because we don't have enough employees. So it seems like, and it's pretty quiet here right now. It doesn't kick up till about like noon. Oh, this is a beautiful little town, Prattville. I would definitely recommend Prattville, Alabama to anybody, especially if you're from the city. Prattville, this town we're in right now, it's a very good transitional. I went from living in the city to living straight in the woods. That car's got a New York license plate right there. See it right there? New York license plate. Right there. So Prattville is a good transitional place. In other words, it's a good place to be, if you're just moving to Alabama, or you're just moving to the rural parts of the country. It's got enough city and enough country. It's a very good transitional spot, where I ended up a little bit further out in the woods, and it's not as great of a it's a massive transition. It is a very charming little town, and I would definitely recommend it. It's affordable, charming, and there's work here. If you're struggling, a lot of people are struggling right now. They say they can't find work wherever they're living. But see this restaurant right here. I'm going to show you guys that restaurant right. Where is it? Where is the restaurant? There's a restaurant on that side. I think it's that restaurant right there. It has a sign that quite frankly reads, "We don't have enough workers. We need workers. The wait may be very long." They need workers out here. So if you're a hard-working person and you're very respectful, because that's one thing about this area. Good morning, Miss G. Welcome on board. We're enjoying a quick little walk through Prattville, Alabama in the morning. I've noticed a lot of my customers are retired military. They ended up coming here from other places. What's interesting about retired military people is they travel all over the country. So for somebody who gets transferred all over the country to decide that, okay, we've been to 10 different places on different, jobs for the military, and when they come here and they pick to settle here, it's not a place you're gonna move to. Like, you're not gonna all of a sudden get up and decide, hey, I'm moving to Alabama like we did. That's a very rare thing to see. But people in the military, they travel, and they end up here randomly. When they end up here randomly, at first they're like, it's just a regular area. But after spending a lot of time here, people actually fall in love with this place. Quite frankly, people just fall in love with this place. And that's why there's so many retired military people, is because they come to work, but then they end up staying permanently. Or, they travel all over. And this is where they decide, out of all the places they go to, for some reason they fall in love with this area. Affordability, friendly people, slow pace of life. So that's quite an interesting little thing. All right, guys. So it's been great to catch up with you guys this morning. I've got some more travels to get across today. I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever you are. And we're going to check out from Alabama. I got 29 people on here. You guys have a beautiful day wherever you are. Remember to be kind. Open door for somebody. Give somebody a smile. Be kind. Be friendly. Be loving. I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever you're watching from. Maybe in England. or from the United States. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Downtown's starting to get a little busier now. Love you guys. Stay out of trouble. And do the best you can to do at least one nice thing for somebody today. Think about somebody who's elderly that needs a phone call. Think about somebody anywhere. Do something nice today. I love